Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and today I'm playing with a few different things. So first off, I'm playing with Mix It Up Monday, where we do mixed media and a sketch, and that sketch is from Christine Harden. I'm also playing with my Counterfeit Christmas Bingo Challenge, and there's a lot I'm going to get on there. And then day 8 prompt, which needs to create showing movement. So I'm going to use this picture of my oldest when she was itty bitty decorating the tree. And my movement thing is going to be with this die of the month from 2024, maybe 2023. I think it's 2024. And I'm going to make a snow globe with some acetate. And so the movement is going to be the look of this acetate. And I'm going to use this swirly one because I want it to mimic like outside snowstorm kind of thing. And I thought that would be kind of fun to use. And I don't use acetate very often. And that's also on my bingo card. So, yay. So I'm just going to try and pop this through my big kick. And it does not cut very well. It tries to cut. It does not do a very great job. But that is what it is. I'm also going to put this together, and that's going to be my assemblage for element or cluster. This element took me quite a bit of time to do, so yeah, that's going to work well for that one. And then I have acetate on here, and then I'm going to use the accent bingo bit too. This can also be holiday, child. I've already done both of those. Oh, and it's going to be earth tones. So I've got some of those browns and the greens and the grays and the blacks, and I thought that would work well for earth tones. So I have my background out of the acetate, and I did do that white because I thought maybe that would be the background between it and the pattern paper. I'm going to do black instead in a minute. But the tree that's in here, I'm going to do out of this shimmer green because I thought that would be really cute. And so it's going to go through. And then for my Mix It Up Monday, for the mixed media, something different than paper, it is that acetate, and it's also going to be a lot of stitching. So I hope that covers it enough, but that's what I'm doing. So normally I would like add, this has embossing on it and some distressing too, but normally I'd add some wet mixed media, and I guess there is some splatters too, so I guess that counts as well eventually. But yeah, I was like, And then the base of the snow globe is going to be out of this gold, and the star is also going to be out of the gold. So I'm going to put that on here right away. And the middle piece there, for the snow globe, for the bell part, I'm not actually going to use because it just punches holes out, and I didn't need the holes in the stars with what I've got going on. So, and there we go. And that comes out. Does it? Probably should have needed a shim with that glitter paper, and it did okay with the glitter paper. It did take me quite a while to weed the holes out of it, so I don't make you watch me do that because it probably took me 20 minutes to just get all those little holes out. I actually ended up taking an X-Acto knife to the back of them actually, but it worked fine on this one. It was just the base that was a little bit harder, and an extra shim would have helped, like a thin piece of cardboard or something else. But this one worked just fine. So whatever, it is what it is. And then so I've got my base of my tree, the base of the snow globe, and then it has this little piece that is the bottom where that's supposed to sit on. And so that is where the sentiment goes. This is going to be my title, and it says Merry and Bright. So I tried out a black first, and that would have been fine, except then I decide I want the background black, and then it's not fine. So So there we go. And then for Reindeer Games today, let me see. I needed to have the movement, which was the snow globe with the swirlies. I'm also going to add some sequins later so that it gives that kind of look too. And the sequins, I think it's actually resin, but I'm not going to put resin off on my board yet, but could be too. And then there's me doing the background, and you see how the black doesn't actually work now, but it's all good. So then I go and get some gray cardstock that's in my stash for like my scraps. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. I cut out there because I was trying to find that Merry and Bright that gets embossed and a little bit cut. And it was on top of my dies right in front of me, and I couldn't see it because it was, So took some time to do that. And then the glue is going to go on this acetate, but where the gold bottom is. And then when I get this all together, it is also going to go underneath the tree. And so then you don't see any of the messy for the glue, but it does make sure that it gets glued on there really nice. And yay, all of that crazy weeding is done. You didn't even see me do it. And then this slides right on top. And I thought that worked better. It ties the gray in with the acetate too. So, and then I'm just going to cut one of these foam dots in half for the base of the tree. And this I could have stitched as well. And I could have stitched the bottom glitter bit, but I thought just the tree was going to be more than enough for this part for the stitching. And then I'm going to go grab my glitter embroidery floss. This is not any fancy stuff. This is literally the cheapest stuff I could find on Amazon. If I was doing like cross stitching or actual embroidery, I'd probably use the DMC, but not on my paper stuff. So, and then I do most of that off screen because you can't see it anyway. And then I'm just showing you on the back, I'm just gluing down the end pieces and putting a little piece of washi to hold them in place so that they are good to go. And then I am going to cut another background piece, not that one, this one, just so that I have something to glue my piece of paper to that has the stitching in it, because it is doing a little bit of a curl thing. It won't after this gets glued together, but it was. So I just put a lot of glue there and then just glue it together, and then it gives me something that I can actually put foam tape on to get it put up a bit. So this embellishment probably took me a good 45 minutes to do. So as much as I love the Spellbinder stuff, they do take a while to put together, but man, are they cute when you do spend the time to do it. I did get their kits for a while, but I haven't got them at all for 2025. So, but I did get them for, I think I had them for 2 years. And so I've got quite a few. I do get the one through our store that brings them in for the Better Press Society one. And I really like those too, but I haven't done that. And then I misplaced the star, and I'm like, I'll find it later, because I couldn't find it. It ended up on the floor, but I was like, And then if you've watched my last video, you know that I've been struggling with my cutter because that little piece does not stay in, and the blade's sharp enough. I don't know why it doesn't stay in, and the score one mostly does, but these are the papers I took out to like play with them and just trying to decide what I want. I do want that grid. It did have like some gingerbread stuff on it before, but that's all I've got left of that scrappy piece. That white is too stark, and there's pink on the other side, which doesn't quite work. And then I am going to use this Core Essentials paper. And sorry about the wiggling of my screen, but I am using my sanding block to bring out those trees with a different color. And then this is where I lose my cutter bit, and I was like, I couldn't find it. It went into a bin beside me that's on the floor, but I couldn't see it, and I was recording, and I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it. So I used my X-Acto knife, which actually worked not too bad. So, and then my black cardstock is just slightly bigger than 12 by 12, so I will cut it down later when I have one that works. But right now, this is what I'm doing with the X-Acto knife. So I didn't want to do it with the black, because the black, it's not even an eighth of an inch that needs to come off. So like, I don't even know if you can actually see what needs to come off on screen. Maybe just the, just the tiniest bit you can see. But so I wasn't too fussed about it. Then I cut that one at 6 inches, and that's going to be the middle piece, and I like that quite a bit. And there's my earth tones, and obviously I moved around a little bit. I think I found the star is what I did. It's on the, it's not attached to the tree yet, but it's right there, so yay. It was literally just on the floor. I don't know why I couldn't see it before, but anyways. And then I'm not going to use the whole piece for the square in behind, because you don't see the whole square, but I am going to mat my photo in it, and I just used my scissors for it because why not. And then I'm going to snip the tree off just a little bit so I can get the topper on. Just because of where I put the foam, it wasn't going to fit perfectly. So a little bit of glue, a little bit of foam, and that's on. And then let's get the rest of this in. So that goes on. I could have used this whole piece with the Christmas trees instead of cutting the 2 slices off, but it's not paper that I can get anymore, and I think it's cute. And a 4-inch strip of it I totally can use on something else fairly easily. So, and then that embellishment is going to mimic the circle on the sketch. And then the sketch had background paper, had a central kind of vertical piece of paper, and then it had this square bit. And so I flipped the sketch so that the circle bit would be on the right side instead of the left, so that it could overlap where the tree is, because that made more sense to me. And then I'm going to put the snow globe up on foam, just because why not? And there, no. I'm like, that's not quite where I want it. So I'm going to get the picture down first, and then I can put this on. It overlaps a bit, and now that's me putting the glue where the tree goes, and that'll stick very well. And then this is a different Spellbinders Club one, and it's a bow to go on like a Christmas, like a present, and it's one of the stitching ones as well. So I'm going to pull out the bow and not worry about the line that goes across for like a present kind of thing. And I'm going to put a bow here, because I thought about using those, the tie ends of them as the banner pieces. I don't know if that makes sense, but the tail ends. But then I was like, no, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just bow. So this is going to go on instead of all the banner pieces on the side in the sketch. But I thought, why not? And then I need a little piece. So I'm going to cut this out of the same glimmer green that the tree is in. And I'm going to use the same metallic gold floss. I need one more of the tail things. I don't know what they're called. The tail ribbon end pieces. I don't know. And so then this is what that kind of looks like. I'm going to put all the pieces away so I don't, this piece. So I'm not going to use this piece. It goes in the top of the bow. I think it's meant to give some shadow and depth, but I don't know. I didn't. Maybe I should do them in black. I might go back and do it in black and put it up on foam, but we'll see. We'll see. Not at the moment. So I'm going to thread my needle, and I am just going to show you a tiny bit of stitching, and then I'm going to pop ahead because I think this gets a little tedious. This is stitching in and out. That's it. And then me redoing my thread and in and out, and then me pulling too far and having to redo my thread. So you don't want to watch that. So just a little bit more, and then I will pop ahead to the end of this one. And so all those ends get a little frayed. And so on something like this, I just add a whole bunch of glue to the back and literally glue all those pieces down and then let it sit. And then I'm going to do all of the rest of the bow pieces, but not all of it on screen, because now that my thread's longer, it doesn't take me, I don't have to redo my needle as often, but yeah, I'm almost off the screen most of the time. So, and then this is how I'm doing my end still. Glue there. And then because this needs to get taped on anyway, I'm going to put some double-sided tape over top of where those ends are. And so then that'll secure them really nicely, and I can secure it to my page when I'm done too. And so those are the pieces all done. And then I'm going to pull this off and get it on. And then this is going to get some of this foam that I'm slowly using up. And I found it. It was in a weird spot. So if you were watching me last week, I was like, I can't find my stuff. This was one of the things I couldn't find. I still have to do some more cleanup in my room, but I found some stuff. So just trying to get that situated so that I like where it's at. And then getting the double-sided piece of the backing off. And then that, my finger worked better. And then on that goes. And then this is me looking at that. I'm like, nope. And thinking about a different title other than the Merry and Bright. And I'm like, nah. I do want some more gold on here, so I am going to do some of the fossilized amber splatter, which is half done. So I should put that on my wish list too. And then I'm going to put these sequins on, and they look pink underneath the light, but they're that iridescent, so they do catch the light differently, but they are white. So I know they look pink, but they're not pink. So I'm going to put them on kind of like snowflakes, and so sprinkled around on the acetate, and then I'm going to put them actually on the tree as well, and then in 3 spots around the bow. I wasn't going to put them on the tree, and then I decided I probably should have some on the tree because the tree's green, and if it's snowing out and blowing, it'd be on the tree too. So that's what I got on there. I don't think anybody would think anything about it if I hadn't, but I don't know. I just thought it would be fun. And some of them are over top of the embroidery and some of them are tucked underneath because I thought that would add more dimension. So, and just another couple on that one, and then I'm going to move over to the bow here. So 3 here, 3 on top here, and then 3 underneath. And we're coming up to being done. And then 1 more on the globe. Actually 2 more on the globe. So I was just trying to think, is there anything else I want? Just 1 more here, I guess. And then this is actually, took me almost 2 hours to do, but it's the stitching and the die cutting that took so long. But yeah, so some close-ups on there, and they definitely do look pink, but they are not pink. So here are some close-ups for still shots. All of the blogs, playlists, and that kind of stuff are linked below for Mix It Up Monday, for Reindeer Games, and for Counterfeit Kit Challenge. I hope you make it over to those 3 places and take a look. And thank you so much for being here today. Here's a couple other videos that you might want to take a look at. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.